Hi, I'm Erica, the school social worker. Nice to see you again. Tell me how things have been going.
Well, I'm having a lot of anxiety. I'm anxious all the time. I'm struggling with school. I don't really sleep. Recently, my parents got divorced. So, yeah, there's a lot of problems going on in my life.
Okay, let's try to focus on one. How does your anxiety affect your schoolwork?
Well, I mean, it helps me get it done, but I don't really like it because I'm anxious all the time. So I usually don't make any free time for myself. I'm just like doing schoolwork whenever I have free time, and I just never really relax. I'm always thinking about schoolwork, so it's kind of like taking over my life.
Okay, so you're saying that schoolwork is just taking over your life and you feel like you have no time for that? Is that correct?
Kinda. Like I mean, I feel like I don't have time for myself because I'm only focused on school.
So how do you think that you could focus more on yourself?
I think that I should possibly just not rush into assignments that aren't due for a long time. I could maybe just do a little bit each day instead of doing like a full assignment. But I don't know, it's hard for me sometimes because it makes me anxious.
Why do you think you're becoming anxious?
Um, I'm not really sure. School like has always made me anxious. Just doing, like, just, I always worry that I won't get the assignments done even though I always do. So since I'm worried about getting them done, I usually just work on them like all the time and I don't really focus on myself.
Okay. So you're saying that you don't really focus on yourself and you're just focusing on schoolwork as soon as it's assigned, and that's what's really taking a toll on you?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anybody that you could talk to? Like, do you have any classmates that you're friends with, that you do your homework with, or is it always you by yourself?
It's usually me by myself.
Okay.
But I have brought up the issue to friends and family.
Oh, okay. So you've brought it up to your friends and family. Is there one specific person that you go to?
Usually my mom. I usually talk to her if I'm like anxious about school, and she tries to help me, and she tries to tell me that like I don't really need to like rush into assignments and stuff because I always get it done in the end. But usually I don't listen to her and I keep doing it.
Okay. So you don't really listen to her and then you just keep on doing, you keep rushing into assignments, and that gives you the anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay. What was another problem that you said before?
Well, since I have anxiety, I am not sleeping very much.
So how much sleep do you think you get?
Like 3 hours a night.
And why is this? Is this because you're so anxious about your assignments?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Have you tried anything to help you with your sleeping?
Well, I mean, I've tried like basic things like melatonin or breathing techniques to help me sleep more, but I just find myself waking up in the night anxious.
Okay, so you've tried all these pills, melatonin, all these exercises, and none of them have worked?
They work a little bit, but I still find myself not getting enough sleep, like as much as I should.
And that's affecting you in your schoolwork and how everything is going?
Yeah, because like I want to keep doing assignments because I'm anxious, but then I'm too tired to do assignments, so it's just like a never-ending cycle.
Okay. Have you spoke to any teachers about this?
A lot of my teachers know I have anxiety, and they kind of say the same thing as my mom, just to like try to calm down. I mean, it doesn't usually work.
Okay. Tell me more about that. What have your teachers been saying?
Well, I mean, I've gone to a couple teachers, and like they just know I'm like an anxious person, and I feel like me being an anxious person just like kind of like annoys them, and they don't really like know how to help because I I just tell them like I'm having anxiety about school, and they just say, well, you always get your assignments done, so like they don't really know like how to like fix the problem.
Okay. So you're saying that your teachers usually tell, like, they know that you have the anxiety, and you get your work done anyways, so they don't really know how to fix the problem. They don't know how to really deal with it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So with your parents being divorced, do you think this has affected you in any way?
Yeah, I think it has a little bit because, I mean, they just recently got divorced and I'm older and a lot of parents get divorced when their kids are like young.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like different because I grew up with both my parents my whole life and now it's just my mom.
Okay. So you live with your mom, is that correct?
Yeah.
How has your relationship with your dad changed?
Well, I mean, I don't really see him as much anymore. I mean, we try to stay in contact by like text and stuff, but I just don't see him as much.
Does he live far away from you?
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister.
And she lives with you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think your sister has been dealing with this?
She's taken it worse than me because she was always closer with my dad while I was kind of close with him, but like I'm closer with my mom and she's like closer with my dad. So it's like affected her more not living with my dad, but I'm like getting used to it.
Okay. And your sister has been having the same problems at school as well?
No, she doesn't really have anxiety.
Okay. How is your relationship with your sister? Do you guys talk about any of this?
Yeah, I mean, she knows I have anxiety and she knows that I struggle with school. She tries to help, but she doesn't really know exactly what to do because, I mean, she's only 18, so she doesn't really know, like, how to, like, fix the problem, but she, like, tries to give me suggestions and, like, tries to help.
So your sister has been helping you more?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So she, like, I mean, whenever I have problems, I try to just, like, go to her because, like, she's close in age and she can kind of relate to, like, some of the problems. So instead of, like, going to my mom or dad about like homework because like when they were in school like homework was different than now, so I try to go to my sister because she can like relate and she usually is helpful and usually gets me to calm down.
Okay, so your mom and your sister are your go-tos and you go to them when you're feeling anxious, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like this has been so hard for you and you've been struggling. However, you've been getting your work done and it looks like you have a very strong relationship with your family.
Yeah. I always get the work done and I do have a good relationship with my family, so I think that helps.
Has there been any other activities you've done or that you like to do, any hobbies?
Well, I mean, I work a lot. I currently am working at a place in retail and so I work a couple nights a week and that usually like takes my mind off some stuff because I'm like busy like restocking and organizing and it's a clothing store, so I usually like have to fold the clothes and make everything look nice. So I do that. I also occasionally hang out with friends. I probably should hang out with friends more, but I'm usually anxious and doing homework. But I try to hang out with friends. I mean, I recently hung out with friends and went to the bonfire for school, so yeah.
So it seems like hanging out with friends and working seems to get your mind off of your stress and off of schoolwork. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, usually when I do things to like that like distract my mind, I usually am less anxious and don't really think that much about school.
Okay. Tell me more about how hanging out with your friends and working gets your mind off of things.
Well, I mean, for work, usually when I'm there, like even if I'm thinking about like assignments, I don't really have time to think about assignments because there'll be like messes in the aisles and like it's a clothing store, so like and I work in the home and kids section. So in the kids section, there's like clothes everywhere, like people make a mess. So like even if I want to think about school, I don't really have time. I have to think about like cleaning up the aisle and like getting everything neat and stuff. And like I'm a pretty hard worker, so like I don't really like slack off and think about school. I just like focus on work. So it kind of like helps me just not think about school for a couple hours because I'm focused on like making the store look nice.
Okay. So it's better when you have stuff to get your mind off of things when you're doing other activities that doesn't involve schoolwork,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
How many times do you usually work, and how many times do you hang out with your friends?
Well, I work usually about like 4 nights a week, and I hang out with friends every few weeks. I don't hang out with friends that much. I mean, I used to hang out with one friend a lot, but right now she's studying abroad, so I don't see her too much. But like I try to see friends a lot, but like we're all busy. Like all my friends work, all my friends have stuff going on, so it's kind of hard to like get together.
Would you say that maybe reaching out to them more and saying, hey, let's hang out, would be one of the solution for you? Because having so much schoolwork can build up on you, and I see that hanging out with your friends gets your minds off of things and takes the anxiety off, kind of solves.
Yeah, I think I have been thinking about like reaching out to them more like first instead of them being like, hey, let's hang out, like me asking them to hang out, because like usually like I feel like I need to be doing more fun things instead of just focusing on like homework.
How do you think they'll respond to that?
I think they'll want to hang out. We just have to like plan a day, because like I have a group of a couple friends I like to hang out with sometimes, and like we would just have to like work our schedules out because they also have jobs.
Okay. Have you spoke to any of your friends about how you've been feeling?
Yeah, I usually talk to them about my anxiety, but none of them really have anxiety, so they don't really understand. Like a lot of times they'll just be all like, oh, well, there's nothing to be anxious about, it's just school, and they don't really understand that for them it's just school, but to me it like causes a lot of problems.
Okay. So would you say that you're maybe feeling like you're excluded, or like they don't understand how you're feeling?
Yeah, they don't really understand. I don't know if it's how I'm feeling, or like they just don't understand anxiety in general.
How does this make you feel?
It makes me feel upset because I wish that I could go to my friends about these issues, but I kind of feel like I can't just go to my friends and say like, oh, I'm really anxious, I have a ton of assignments, because like to them like it's not really a big deal.
Okay. So would you say that you're maybe feeling like they don't care as much, and maybe that makes you feel lonely? If not, correct me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of lonely sometimes because I'm dealing with the feelings on my own. I mean, luckily, my mom and sister do understand anxiety more because they've lived with me my whole life, and so they've learned more about the disorder. But a lot of my friends just don't really get the big deal.
Okay. So from listening, I've taken out that you've tried to talk to your friends about this, but they don't really understand, and maybe talking to your mom and your sister maybe helps you more,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So would you say that it'd be better to talk to your parents, to your mom more, and your sister, rather than your friends, because they make you feel bad inside?
Yeah, sometimes, but I still want to be able to like tell my friends things. It's just
Okay.
like they don't really know how to help.
Okay. So, however, but when you're hanging out with them and not talking about schoolwork, everything is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking to your parents talking to your mom would be a lot better than talking to your friends about it.
Yeah, because she understands more of what's going on.
Okay. So it seems that you're having so much anxiety because of all the schoolwork that you're getting, and because of all this worrying about your school. It seems that you're losing sleep because of it, and nothing that you've tried has been working out for you. and working and hanging out with friends has seemed to help you get your mind off of things.
Yeah.
So that's what we've learned about in this session. For next week, does this time and place seem okay with you?
This time isn't gonna work because I don't really have a ride.
Okay. So how does 3:15 right after school sound for you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And this room is okay with you?
Yeah.
Comfortable in it? Okay. Sounds good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.